Yo guys, what's up? So I'll be telling you about what to do if you need to do a body lift. Before doing this, of course, you need to know exactly how much lift you need, and of course, you need to see if that amount of lift will cause problems on the car that you have, like for instance, brake lines and your viscous fan not hitting the shroud, etc. Like for instance, if you see on this car right now, we've sort of already started the process. So if you look here, you can see that we've temporarily placed those blocks until we get the body spacers made. So that is around, I guess, 1.5 inches. So considering 1.5 inches of lift on the front, let's see exactly what it does to the brake lines and the fan. Hold on a second. So what I meant by the fan having an issue with the shroud is, hold on a second. Right now, this is a 1.5 inch, almost 1.5 inch lift on this front portion alone. So if you look closely, I don't know if you can see, but you see the bottom blade there? How it's getting really close to the shroud. Yeah, that's what I meant by fan and shroud clearance. So you're gonna have to look at that, because if your fan does like contact the shroud at 3000 RPM or something like that, it's going to straight up fragment into a million pieces and pretty much penetrate your radiator. And obviously you don't want that. Also, when you talk about brake lines, obviously you have to take in consideration the line that goes from your ABS module or your brake booster to your caliper. So for me, that is this line that is just like hanging here. So it goes down like that and into this I don't know what that is, into that seal, I guess, to stop water from getting in the bay. And then it comes out, yeah, it comes out here. Now this, hold on a second. Okay, so now that brake line goes into here, and from here it goes to the caliper. So if you do a body lift, then that brake line is going to obviously it will need to be extended. So in most cars, I guess in most SUVs, large run frame SUVs, you will have this coil of extra brake line that you will have to uncoil it, so that you get more I guess length in the brake line. Considering that I am only doing a 1-inch body lift, it's not going to be as intense as if you try to do a 2-inch body lift or more than that. Because if you do a 2-inch body lift, then you'll have to, I guess, take into consideration your steering shaft that's down here. Now this basically connects the steering wheel to the steering box that is here. So now that, of course, it will accommodate a 1-inch lift because it's universal joints. But there's one universal joint here and there's one universal joint back there. They will sort of do the universal joint thing and sort of just deal with it, I guess. But if you do a 2+ inch body lift, then that will sort of take it to the extremes. So you might have to look at that if you're doing a 2+ inch body lift. And apart from that, if you are doing a massive body lift, of course you'll have problems inside your car. Like for instance, one of the problems are your gear selectors. So right now you can see that they are compressed even with the 1.5 inch lift. Hold on a second. Like you can see these last few ones are compressed. Yeah, that's because I have already lifted the body like almost an inch. So if you do anything more than like 2 inches, you might want to deal with that too. I don't know like how to do all these major things. That's why I'm sticking to 1 inch. I mean, that's not the only reason. I mean, we are doing a 1 inch body lift only because we want some more clearance in the front wheel arches. I mean, we had a lot of rubbing. As you can see, we've also clearly modified the arch. So we thought, yeah, why not do a body lift too? So, I mean, of course, these are all just things I'm thinking of from the top of my head. So if I do miss anything, you guys can. I mean, if anyone's watching the video, you can tell me in the comments. Okay, so I guess I'll tell you guys what exactly I've done now. So I've already said that we've jacked the vehicle up and we've removed the body mounts on one side, that is the front two, the one over here, and there's one like right there. I think you can see the wooden planks. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're doing it one side at a time, and on each side we remove two at a time, because I mean this is not exactly a healthy car. I mean the frame is bent, so if we remove all the body mounts and if we jack up the body, we will honestly have a really hard time getting the body back onto the frame. So yeah, to like remove a bit of the strain from the body, we've also loosened the body mount over here, like this one. You can see the bolt has like gone completely upstairs or whatever. Oh, you can see the other body mount here much more clearly. There it is. That is where the body mount is supposed to be. Okay, so this is one that we've loosened, and of course there's one here. I mean, hold on a second. I mean that is loosened. See, okay, I can remove it with my hand. The two at the end, I'm pretty sure you can see it from here. There's one there, there's one right there too. So those two, we are yet to loosen. So here, we've already had these made. So these are, essentially these are the spacers that give us the 1 inch of lift. So now how these work is, hold on a second. This is what the final piece should look like. So obviously the bolt is going to hold everything together, and you will definitely have to get aftermarket bolts because the stock ones are obviously not going to cut it. So these are TVS bolts. They're hardened. I'm not sure about the length, but so when you do a body lift, when you're getting your spacers made, now this is the bush that the body basically sits on. So this bush goes like here where these wooden blocks are supposed to be, and the body sits on top of this bush. So now the spacer is going to go on top of that and it's going to sit on top of that bush, so the body sits on top of the spacer here. So you're going to have to get this spacer made based on the diameter of this bush. Okay, now basically I'll be installing that first spacer at the front. I mean, of course, I'm not exactly measuring what's happening with these blocks, it's just approximate. So now I'm gonna place these blocks down there, and hold on a second, I'll get my jack. Yeah, put the jack up there. So this is what the final output looks like. So I'm using this block at the top so that I don't rest the jack directly on the body. If you do that, then you will pretty much warp that area. All that force from the jack is going to be concentrated across that really small area of this, I guess. So that's why we're using this block to distribute that area over a larger area. Distribute that force over a larger area, sorry. Okay, so I couldn't really record that because I needed two hands to do it. Now if I raise the jack, it's not sketchy at all. Of course, I mean, when you do this, don't forget to loosen at least two other body mounts on the same side of your vehicle. Otherwise, you'll be, I mean, for example, I just forgot to undo the bolt there. So what would happen is I lift the front of the vehicle up. The front would keep going up, but the rear would still stay down and it would sort of just bend at this position. And obviously you wouldn't want that. So we have the last two mounts in place, and we've loosened the front mount there in front of the engine, the mount here under the accelerator pedal, the mount here under the driver's seat, and the mount over there, which is pretty much under the passenger seat. So now if I jack the vehicle up, okay, now we can remove that and we can attempt. Okay, so I've got the original body bushes in place. Now what needs to happen is this spacer basically needs to go on top further, and there is not enough clearance. Looks like it's going to be a bit higher than I first intended. Okay guys, so it looks like I made a small miscalculation. Okay, as you can see, I've put the spacer on top of the original bushes, and I put the bolt too, and as you can see, there's quite literally just a sliver of bolt that I can use, and that is obviously not going to work for this nut because I also need to place these two washers. Yeah, holy shit, I forgot what washers were called. Okay, so the problem was the bolt was getting stuck somewhere in the middle of this barrel, so I had to essentially jack it halfway and then adjust the bolt, jack it halfway and then drop it, and now it's fine. See, I got enough clearance to put the nut in. For now I'm just going to loosen this because I still need to jack it up to install the spacer over here. So yeah, okay, so this is the other bush, and as you can see, this is like really rusted. This is the one under the accelerator pedal, and I guess water got in there. It's really no other explanation. Okay, so you know what? I have no idea if these bolts and nuts are 14mm or 16mm or I just have to hold on a second. Okay, so I went and got a 14mm socket, and if this doesn't fit, I'll just be really sad. Hold on a second. I am actually genuinely sad right now. What the hell? This doesn't fit. Are you serious? I literally went out, bought this socket, bought this extension for the socket because it's really hard to reach in the front. It's like, yep, lesson learned. I mean, at least we do have correct socket for it. So remember which audio washers go, because obviously that's like extremely important. And of course, this is quite honestly the wrong washer for this bolt, but whatever, I don't really care. And if any of you guys have a Pajero, then holy shit. And also, if you're thinking about doing a body lift for a Pajero, then oh, you can ask. I mean, you're pretty lucky because you can ask me whatever you need to know. Okay, that's kind of hard to get in. Yay. the happiest I've ever been in my life. And that's saying quite a lot. Oh my. Okay, yeah, that was bad. Okay. Oh no, hold on a second, I've got to fix it. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the spacer on there and I fixed the bush that I butchered. So there we go. Now this bottom bush. Okay, now time to put the bolt in. Let's hope for the best. Again, just ignore the absolute abysmal condition of my car because it just came back from the body shop from things and I haven't cleaned it yet because I thought why not, let's finish all the work and then clean it. Okay, I guess it has to move a bit. Fuck's sake, come on. Are you serious? So there you go, that's that. And you might think that this is like a really small amount of bolt to put the nut in, but once we let the body down it's going to compress and I'll have more bolt. I'm literally praying to God right now. Those sounds are genuinely not nice, let me just tell you. Put these washers on. Oh, I see, it's deciding to be a little bitch. Guess I'll have to lift it up and do the same thing I did in the front. So I've got the spacer in place. Yeah, I managed to get it done and I guess it's alright. So now that's 2 done and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more to go on this side. Okay guys, so that's it for today. I'll be continuing this, the weekend I guess. Okay, today's Friday, so I'll be continuing it tomorrow. Screw it. I understand that my explanation might not be that clear considering I'm just making this up as I go along. So if you do have any questions, especially if it's anything related to a Pajero, I'll try my best to answer it. Of course, you can ask me questions about body lifts too. I won't mind that. I'm somewhat of a subject matter expert myself. Okay, I'm not. It's the first time I'm doing a body lift. Okay guys, see you later I guess. If you have any questions you can ask me. Sure.